Muslim worshippers performed the Eid al-Fitr prayers in front of the Dome of the Rock Mosque at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem.
Prepare to be astounded as we unveil a groundbreaking revelation beneath Jerusalem's fabled Dome of the Rock. This ancient site, shrouded in centuries of history and sacred to billions, has been harboring a secret just waiting to be unearthed. What lies beneath the Golden Dome? Is it a long-lost artifact, a hidden message from the past, or something beyond our wildest imaginations? Dome of the Rock, which is also known as Qubat al-Aqra in Arabic, is a shrine in Jerusalem that was constructed in the late 7th century by the Umayyad ruler Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan. It is the oldest Islamic monument that still stands today. The building may be found on a level elevated plaza that is known to Muslims as Al-Aram al-Sharf, which translates to the noble sanctuary, and to Jews as the Temple Mount, which refers to the location where the Temple of Jerusalem once stood. The Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad was taken up into heaven for an encounter with God, an event known as the Miraj, from the rock that the dome is constructed above. This occurrence is known as the Miraj. Muslims believe that the Prophet was magically brought there from Mecca on the night of his encounter at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is located nearby at the most southern point of the plaza. It is standard practice to refer to the entire plaza as the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and subsequently to include the Dome of the Rock itself in this definition. Architecture, although the structure and ornamentation of the Dome of the Rock have their origins in the architectural tradition of the Byzantine Empire, the building's construction in the 7th century reflects an early step in the development of a distinctive Islamic aesthetic style. The building has a base in the shape of an octagon, and on top of that, there is a central dome made of gilded wood. It is situated in the vicinity of the platform's center. The dome, which has a diameter of roughly 20 meters and is situated on a raised drum, rises over a circle that contains 16 piers and columns. This circular area is enclosed by an octagonal arcade that has 24 piers and columns. A section of the holy rock that is below the dome is uncovered and surrounded by a railing for safety reasons. A set of stairs descends down into the rock, where there is a cave that was naturally formed. Each of the 8 sides of the octagon formed by the outer walls is roughly 60 feet broad and 36 feet high. Additionally, the exterior walls form an octagon. The windows are plentiful not only on the dome but also on the outer walls. Marble, mosaics, and metal plaques are used to embellish both the interior and exterior of the building. The mosaics in the Dome of the Rock exclude any representations of human or animal forms, instead featuring Arabic script and vegetal patterns intermixed with images of items such as jewels and crowns. Although the mosaics are similar in technique to those found in Byzantine public buildings and churches, the mosaics in the Dome of the Rock exclude any representations of human or animal forms. Inscriptions of Arabic religious texts can be found all the way around the octagonal arcade. The historical foundation and development of Jerusalem's solemnity had a profound and long-standing religious importance prior to the introduction of Islam, long before the construction of the Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock was a comparatively late addition to Jerusalem's solemnity. After David had conquered the city and made it his capital about the year 1000 BCE, his son and successor Solomon built a temple there. Over time, it evolved into the holiest and most important center for religious activity for the ancient Israelites. The Herodian restoration of the temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE, and in its place, in 135, the Romans built a city called Aelia Capitolina. The city went through a period of revival with the Christianization of Constantine I, often known as Constantine the Great, who ruled the Roman Empire. The location that Christians have long believed to be the spot where Jesus was crucified, buried, and raised from the dead is now occupied by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which was constructed on top of that region. Because to the support of the imperial family, the city continued to thrive into the 7th century. By the time that Umar I, the second Muslim caliph, took control of Jerusalem in the year 638, the city had already been embellished with many magnificent churches, monasteries, and hospices. In the decades that followed the conquest of Jerusalem, the fledgling Islamic empire was plagued by civil strife and instability, particularly as a result of the establishment of dynastic control by the Umayyad family. After emerging triumphant from the Second Fitna, which saw rebellion in Mecca, The resistance of non-Muslims to Muslim rule and fresh conflict with the Byzantine Eastern Roman Kingdom, the fifth Umayyad Caliph, Abd al-Malik, set out to consolidate and reinforce his power throughout the kingdom. He did this by establishing a caliphate in Damascus, which was the capital of the Umayyad Empire. One of his many accomplishments was the colossal construction of the Dome of the Rock, which stood prominently among the city's churches. The date of construction was established as AH 72 according to the Islamic calendar, by an inscription that was placed inside the Dome of the Rock. This date is generally accepted to signify the date that the edifice was finished being built. The fundamental architectural components of the Dome of the Rock have been preserved until modern times, but the dome's decoration has been altered multiple times during the course of its existence. Each Islamic dynasty that took control of Jerusalem, such as the Abbasids, the Fatimids, and the Ayyubids, commissioned their own set of improvements to be made to the edifice, as well as the addition of their own inscriptions and ornamentation. During the time when Jerusalem was ruled by the Crusaders, the rock was enclosed in a screen made of wrought iron. This was done to stop Christian pilgrims from taking relics from the rock. The Ayyubids removed it and replaced it with the wooden screen that can still be seen today surrounding the rock. During one notable repair that took place in the 16th century, the external mosaics were changed out for colorful ceramic tiles on the order of the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman I, also known as the Magnificent. On the initiative of the royal family of Hashemite, damaged ornamentation both inside and outside the building were repaired or replaced during the 20th century, and a new gold covering was applied to the dome. Meaning: in spite of the fact that the Dome of the Rock is primarily significant because of its association with the Prophet Muhammad's ascent to heaven, there is no mention of the event in any of the inscriptions on the structure. In the oldest Islamic descriptions of Al-Aram al-Sharif, which were documented in the 9th century, there is mention of some relation between the compound and the Mirj. Nonetheless, the association of the event with the Dome of the Rock did not start appearing as a preeminent topic until the 11th century. There is a dearth of contemporary commentary regarding the building of the Dome of the Rock, which contributes to the lack of clarity surrounding the structure's intended purpose and importance when it was first constructed. The layout is not conducive to the practice of Muslim congregational prayer, since it is organized in an ambulatory fashion, which is not typical of a mosque's architectural style. Furthermore, it is difficult to place it within the framework of other Islamic religious categories and institutions. Several characteristics of the Dome of the Rock give the impression that it was built with the intention of establishing Islam as the legitimate successor to the Abrahamic religion. Because of its construction, it is classified as a member of the category of Byzantine religious structures known as martyria. Martyria were typically circular or polygonal shrines that were created to memorialize the tombs of saints or to remember events of particularly significant religious significance. The Kathisma of the Mother of God, a neighboring octagonal martyrium whose remnants were unearthed in 1992, is thought to have had a significant impact on the events that took place. It is possible that the enormous size and costly adornment of the Dome of the Rock were intended to compete with those of the Christian sacred buildings located in Jerusalem, particularly the domed Church of the Sacred Sepulchre. Its Arabic inscriptions, which feature a section of Quranic passages and paraphrases, highlight the unity of God and reject the Christian concepts of the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus. These passages and paraphrases are taken from the Quran. After the establishment of the Abbasid dynasty in the 8th century, some commentators started to report that Abd al-Malik built the Dome of the Rock as a substitute for the Kaaba in an attempt to relocate the site of the Muslim Hajj from Mecca, which was then under the control of rebels led by Ibn al-Zubayr, to Jerusalem. Mecca was at the time under the control of the Ibn al-Zubayr. This interpretation has been called into question by contemporary academics, who point to the strong anti-Umayyad bias present in Abbasid historiography, as well as proof that Mecca continued to serve as the destination of the Hajj throughout Ibn al-Zubayr's rebellion. The positioning of the Dome of the Rock, its construction, and the ornamental patterns that adorn it are all said to match to themes that are linked with Islamic and Byzantine beliefs regarding the Day of Judgment and heaven. Other academics have proposed an eschatological reason for the architects of the Dome of the Rock. The location holds religious significance, not only in Islam but also in other religions. Because it was once the location of the Temple of Jerusalem, and because it is located on the Temple Mount, the location holds a special significance for followers of Judaism. Within the compound is where it is believed the foundation stone can be found. This stone is typically associated with the rock that can be found beneath the dome. Jews believe that it was on this stone that the world was founded. During the Middle Ages, both Jews and Christians referred to the Dome of the Rock as the Temple of Solomon, also known as the Templum Domini. This association led to the Dome of the Rock's image being iconographically used in artwork and ritual artifacts to depict the temple. After the city of Jerusalem was taken over by Crusader forces in 1099, the Knights Templar made their home there, and subsequent Templar cathedrals throughout Europe were modeled after its architecture. Before the Muslim Ayyubids, commanded by Saladin, took Jerusalem in 1187, the Crusaders worshipped inside the Dome of the Rock, which is also known as the Temple Mount. Recent archaeological excavations have unveiled a fascinating discovery beneath the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. Hidden beneath the white mosaic floor of a substantial Byzantine-era building, underground chambers have been unearthed, shedding new light on the historical significance of the site. The chambers, connected by carved staircases, contain recesses that were likely used as shelves and storage areas. Artifacts found within the chambers, including a stone mug from the Second Temple period and a piece of kalal, a large stone basin associated with Jewish ritual practices, provide clues to the age of the complex, estimated to be between 1800 and 2000 years old. These newly revealed underground chambers offer archaeologists a glimpse into daily life in Jerusalem before the Roman siege in 70 CE. Researchers are particularly interested in understanding the function of these rock-cut rooms and the purpose of the Byzantine building that once stood above them. The discovery opens up new avenues for exploring the rich historical and cultural layers of the Dome of the Rock and its surrounding area, offering a deeper understanding of this sacred and enigmatic site. The recently discovered underground chambers beneath the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem have presented archaeologists with an intriguing mystery. Despite extensive excavation and examination, the purpose of these chambers, as well as the Byzantine-era building that once stood above them, remains unknown. Researchers are puzzled by the complex rock-cut rooms and the effort invested in chiseling them out of solid stone. The absence of conclusive evidence leaves room for speculation and theories regarding the function of these chambers. Some suggest they may have served as residential spaces or storage units, while others believe there could be a deeper significance yet to be uncovered. Additionally, the purpose of the Byzantine building above the chambers, which was destroyed by an earthquake in the 11th century, remains unclear. Scholars and archaeologists continue to explore the artifacts and clues found within the chambers in an effort to gain a more comprehensive understanding of life in ancient Jerusalem and the role these structures played in the city's history. The enigmatic nature of these underground chambers adds to the intrigue and allure of the Dome of the Rock, making it a subject of ongoing research and fascination for scholars and history enthusiasts alike. So that's all for this video. If you want to watch more, then hit that subscribe button.